but obviously we all know there's a lot of, one wrong tambourine hit and you ruined the entire damn song.
Yeah.
That kind of. So normally you would be like, you're doing the thing and it goes like boom, ba, da, da, dum, da, da, dum, crash, right?
Yeah.
It's like what most people would do.
Yeah.
I try to get away from that stuff. And if it's a build or something big.
Okay.
So if you're going boom, ba, and the fill coming up, da, 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 da.
Okay, yeah.
So that way I'm seen as I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Right? The visual contribution and my sonic contribution is just, there's a peak, but there's not a point. It's just a suggested higher volume. And you can interpret the peak wherever. And it could have been a thing of, a musical taste thing at the moment, or that the song had like 2 hits within, because it doesn't have to be a hit on one. It could be a hit on the and of 3 and then on 1, but you're starting to play that swell to take up that sonic space during the duration of a bar, half a bar, and then after. So it has a peak, but it also has a tail. Because if I just crash, it just crashes. So that way, when I swell, there is no flamming whatsoever.
That's awesome. Before I forget this question, I want to ask you, especially when you transition from drummer to more doing percussion in the pop world, how is it being the percussionist instead of the drummer? How did you feel doing that?
It's a great question, because I think a lot of people think that percussion is like a demotion when you play percussion instead of drumming. And I understand the sort of bandstand sentiment of it all. And to a degree, the musical importance. I know everybody plays an equal role, yada, yada, yada. The bus driver is the drummer is the bus driver. I loved the idea of having less responsibility and less pressure than being the guy.
Yeah.
I am totally okay with not being that person. I've also been incredibly spoiled in my entire career to play with drummers that are very, very good, that know how to play with a percussion player, not from a Santana standpoint, but from a rock pop perspective. I've been spoiled. Jack Lawless from the Jonas Brothers, unbelievable drummer that plays the same song the same way, asks me what I want to do, leaves space. Stacy Jones, my favorite drummer to play with. He is just the most consistent, like Jack, the same. They're the most consistent, musical, inspiring drummers that allow me to do what I do. And I've learned a lot from, the intricacies and nuances of being a percussionist through them. And I wish I could hit rim shots like Stacy Jones does and like Jack Lawless does. And so, RJ Kelly, it's another drummer that, he's just stupidly good to play with him. Elias Malin, a buddy of mine that I told you about, I love playing with him as well. So because I've been spoiled having good experiences with great drummers, it's always great playing percussion.
Yeah.
Very rarely have I been like, because as a drummer, there is this ego competitive, the soccer player in me that goes like, oh, I could do better than that drummer.
Right.
But when I can't, when I don't feel I can, that's a awesome pocket to be in. I love that. I'm like, oh shit, could I do metrically the same thing? And but I couldn't make it feel the same way that these guys are doing it. Let them do that, and I stay back and I do my thing, percussion wise, which I love. It doesn't have to be hand percussion as far as congas and bongos and the Latin side. If you listen to Man in the Box, or you listen to some Black Sabbath, if you listen to War Pigs, there's tambourine there. If you listen to Sad But True, there's shakers. If that shit's heavy and I can play all that stuff, I don't give a fuck what Becky from Indiana might think about if I'm not the right, if I'm not doing congas on a song or I'm only playing shakers. I'm doing it. and I'm
Yeah.
doing it for you, Becky, so you have fun and you listen to the song just like the record, you know.
Dude. That's a
But
that's a great attitude, man. You know,
thank you, man.
that's
Thanks.
great.
It just I don't have a choice because if I start being like, oh, I can do that on drum, no, like
Yeah.
it's like if body count calls me, you think I'm going to be like, oh, I can definitely do. No, I'm not. You do that, and please let me do, and I'll match your double kick with a tambourine.
Right. Yeah.
We'll figure something out. It'll be cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that aspect, and you know, the reason why at the end of the day I stuck with drums was because I wanted to play with other musicians. I
Hmm.
wanted to play with Marty Friedman and with Dave Mustaine and
Oh,
with David Ellison. I didn't want to
yeah.
play. I love Nick Mensa, my favorite of all time. There was just no. I didn't play drums so I could replace Nick or replace whoever. I wanted
Yeah.
to play with the musicians that they played with. So eventually, I did the same thing with percussion. I'm like, well, I don't want to replace whoever's playing for Paramore one day.
Hmm.
I'd rather have them play like the song and I can play tambourine on That's What You Get and like just be like, oh,
Right.
I don't have to worry about when the you know the things are coming. Like that's fine. I love
Yeah.
the low pressure, sort of the lower quote unquote stakes of being percussion. But obviously, we all know there's a lot of one wrong tambourine hit and you ruin the entire damn song.
Yeah.
That kind of.
Oh, sorry. I
Oh
was
no, I'm
gonna.
done. I'm done.
Oh no, I was gonna ask. You ever had that drummer that didn't like played over the top of you? Like,
Yeah, yeah, of course.
oh,
And this is not a dig.
right.
It's just factual.
Yeah.
When I played with Tony Royster, he was sort of entrusted by Adam Blackstone and the production manager at the time
Yeah.
to be Tony Royster
Yes.
and be the greatest drummer on planet Earth. Do it, do your thing. So
Yeah.
that was harder to play alongside with him because he would play, whether it's 32nd notes or triplets or 16th notes, so perfectly well that when my 16th notes aren't perfect, I sound like I'm flamming with him.
Oh.
So I didn't like how I sounded a lot of the times when I was playing the peripheral stuff, the auxiliary stuff. When I was playing congas, I can be selective of eighth notes and 16th notes and draw a sonic picture dynamically. But if I'm doing a thing with the transients or where it's staccato, and I'm not matching perfectly with Tony, I feel like I'm flamming. He can probably barely hear me because he's doing
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
So I felt that was hard, not because of how busy he was, but because how he would expose my shortcomings metrically and meter wise. So that was hard for me. But I loved, I have a song called, Joe has a song called See No More that I loved, and just Tony would crush it. And then, it depends on the band. If you see Tony play with Jay-Z, he plays like a fucking the record, like a drum machine.
Yeah.
It's like no fills, Tony might as well have a kick hat and snare drum.
Right. Oh man.
Or with Katy Perry,
Yeah.
Like, so he's a monster musician, funny as hell, hardworking dude. I don't think I've seen any drummer practice more than Tony Royster practices.
Really?
And it shows, that's why he plays how he plays and has played with who he has played. And yeah, absolute monster. But yeah, that was if I had to say, like, and there've been drummers that don't have their shit together, like
Yeah.
Or don't know how to play with a percussion player. It's patterns that we would mimic that he would normally do because there's no drummer, no percussionist, but there is a percussion player, so you don't have to do that. But it's hard for some drummers to not want to do a certain fill or not want to do, but I have the timbal here to do like well, cool. Let me do it because that's what I'm supposed. Yeah, that's a percussion.
Right.
So you deal with like, okay, man, you do you, whatever you got to do. You want to do that fill, you do that fill. I'll do something else, and try to. That's a very much an ego checking exercise for me as well. To like, okay, I don't have to impose my Latin hood, over this. I don't have to play clave. I don't have to do a timbal hit, One
Right.
thing that I worked a lot with Stacy Jones was I had this idea of crashing on percussion all the time. You know,
Oh,
whenever they crash, you know, we do
yeah.
crashes together.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the stuff that I was doing with the Jonas Brothers were like arenas, and you know, it would look good if you have
Oh,
another
yeah.
guy doing a hit.
Yeah.
But with Stacy, I realized I was doing a little bit of flamming that I didn't realize that I was doing with single hits on a cymbal. So my cymbals on stage, whenever I play with Stacy, I never ever crash. I swell.
Oh, okay.
So, and then I've adapted that to my percussion sort of arsenal forever. I never crash when I play ever, really. If I'm playing a shaker, I'm never going like, you know, I'm never crashing if I don't have to. I swell. So that way I don't interrupt any of his kicking in cymbal
Right.
perfect hit. You know what I mean?
Can you do me a favor? I
Yeah.
don't know. This is unplanned. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can you show me like on that kit like how you swell?
So, well, I don't have my mallets with me,
Yeah.
but it's I would, well, there's sort of single-handed swells. Obviously,
Yeah.
if I have to do the thing. Do I
Yeah.
have mallets around here? Let me take a look before
All
I.
right.
Hold on a second. Give me a second.
All right, that's cool.
Normally, you would have, you know, you're playing your shaker.
Yeah.
So normally you would be like, you know, you're doing the thing and it goes like boom, ba, da, da, dum, da, da, dum, crash, right?
Yeah.
It's like what most people would do.
Yeah.
I try to get away from that stuff. And if it's a build or something big,
Okay.
so if you're going boom, ba, and the fill coming up, da 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 da.
Okay. Yeah.
So that way I'm seen as I'm doing something,
Yeah.
right? The visual contribution, and my sonic contribution is just there's a peak, but there's not a point. It's just a suggested higher volume, and you can interpret the peak wherever. And it could have been a thing of, you know, a musical taste thing at the moment, or that the song had like two hits within, you know, because it doesn't have to be a hit on one. It could be a hit on the and of three and then on one, but you're starting to play that swell to take up that sonic space
Yeah.
during the duration of a bar, half a bar, and then after. So it has a peak, but it also has a tail. Because if I just crash, it just crashes. So that way, when I swell, there is no flamming whatsoever.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? So those are things that I've never thought about until I work with a guy like Stacy, for example, that he pointed it out. I'm like, oh shit.
Right.
And then you go to the studio, you hear back and you solo the tracks and you're like, oh fuck, I am flamming.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Something so basic as a hit on one, like a quarter note.
Right.
And you're flamming, not always, you know, I'm not also here to shit on myself, but you know, enough where I was like, ooh, God, I need to do that. So,
Right. Oh man. Thank you for doing that, man.
of course, dude.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I just wanted people to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And just to educate them. Hey, did you know that we have a website, Talk Music Podcast with Will Dorsey Jr.? We got all kinds of stuff on there, man. Check it out. Got some cool swag on there, like a sweatshirt or a hoodie or a coffee mug. Man, if you can just go on there and just check it out and see what you think, man, it would help me out, you know. But yeah, check out the gear. Hope you like it, and support Talk Music Podcast with Will Dorsey Jr. Thanks. Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Will Dorsey Jr. of Talk Music Podcast. If you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button. That little red button on there, just hit it. That will help me out tremendously. If you can also, you know, subscribe to our YouTube channel, that will also help me. And if you wanted to download our podcast on Apple or Google or Amazon or even Spotify, you can check us out on there. Hope you guys enjoy the show.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, eRecord Studio, the new way musicians rehearse. record and share their e-record sessions on social media. Visit ERS on erecordstudio.com. Download this amazing app on Google and Apple Apps stores.
Visit us on www.talkmusicpodcast.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Download our podcast on Apple, Google, Amazon, and Spotify.